Hi, I'm Cheryl. Today we're going to make this card using the So Very Much stamp set. And that's one of the stamp sets that's free from Stampin' Up! If you spend $50 or more. That's still going on until I think it's the end of March. And this is the card we're making. It has a vellum overlay. And I don't know, can you see that in the... There's, we're doing a shadow stamping. And it doesn't seem to be showing up real well in the video, but I have it stamped in the Tuxedo black. And then there's a shadow to it. I use the Bermuda Bay ink. So, what we're going to need today is a piece of Whisper White cardstock, 8.5 by 5.5, scored and folded at 4 1/4. That's our card base. We need a piece of vellum, and the vellum is 5 by 3 3/4. And I'm going to keep that out because we're going to be doing that first. We need some designer paper. I'm using a piece from this, what is it called? Succulant Garden designer paper that Stampin' Up! Just came out with recently. It's got a lot of beautiful papers, and I used this one, but this one here would be beautiful. There's another one here that's in that mint macaron color that would be beautiful too. I'm sure if you look through your stash, you've got designer papers you'd like to use. But this is what I've used today, and I think this paper is just gorgeous. So, don't need that whole thing of paper. And then just a little piece, because we're going to be, where did my card get to? There it is. We're going to do a little embellishment on the inside. We're going to fussy cut out a couple of the succulants from the paper, and we'll just glue them down inside for just a little something extra inside the card. And let's see, I also used the rhinestones. So I've got a little strip of those cut right here that I'll be using. Put them aside, hope I don't lose them in the meantime. And so Tuxedo black ink and Bermuda Bay and Tombow. We're always using Tombow. And we're going to be using a stamp positioner today. This one is put out by something Apple something, I don't know, but it's not terribly expensive. Stampin' Up! Has one. It's called a Stamp-a-ma-jig. It looks a little different, but it's the same principle. I got this one on Amazon long time ago, and if you have a problem positioning your sentiments or your stamps, then this might be something that you would like to look into getting. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to stamp our thank you, and I'll use the stamp positioner, and this is how you use it. So I'll be using the Tuxedo black first, so let me ink that up. And I'm stamping. So there's like a plexiglass piece that comes with it, and I'm going to stamp on that plexiglass piece. Okay, and it did shift a little bit, but I think it'll be okay. And this is how you position it. I have my piece of vellum here. I hope you can see it. And I just put ink on my vellum. But luckily, it doesn't sink in, so I could wipe it off. Now, I'm going to decide where I want this on my vellum. And right there looks good. Then you take this L piece and put it right up against that sheet of plexiglass. And we're very carefully picking up our piece of plexiglass, and we'll ink our stamp. Oop. And then put your stamp in the corner and just press down. And it will stamp exactly where you put it. Now, I didn't get a real good impression, so without moving anything, I'm going to ink the stamp up again. And make sure I have it the right way. Okay. And put it right in the corner and press down. Now, this is an inexpensive alternative to the mini MISTI, or they have the full-size MISTI. But this is, you know, a significant amount cheaper than either of those. Oh, I noticed that Hampton Art makes a stamp positioner that's very similar to the mini MISTI too. Now that's much cheaper. So if you were looking into getting a stamp positioner, then this might be you might want to look into those. And I looked around, I got pretty good reviews too. So because this is vellum, I'm going to put this aside. I'm going to let that dry, because it doesn't soak in, the inks don't soak into the vellum like they do on regular cardstock. So while we're waiting for that to dry, I'm going to get this out, and I've started fussy cutting already, but we're just going to finish up fussy cutting these little flowers. And this is why you don't throw anything away, because this little piece here could have been destined for the scrap bin, but instead I can use it to decorate my card on the inside. And little scissors are very handy to have for fussy cutting, because you can really get into places much better. And if you notice, I turn my paper as I cut too, and I don't make like little cut motions. I try to keep it one smooth motion. That'll make your fussy cutting look a lot nicer. Okay, and that's done. And I'm going to save this still, because I still have two little flowers here I could use somewhere else. I save everything. I'm a pack rat. Somewhere on my... oh, right here. From another card I made, the Valentine's card that I have all these turquoisey color hearts on. I saved this because I'm going to use this one of these days. Someday I'm going to use this on a card, just like this. I'm going to have it going down the side of the card. So I don't throw anything away. Alright, so this might be dry enough now. Let me just, I don't want to smear this. Okay. And we still have our thank you stamped on here, so I'm going to put this over top again. But I'm going to offset it just a little bit. I'm going to make it offset to down and to the right. And then I'll take my corner piece. I'm going to put it right here in the corner. Oh, wait a minute. Nope, this is where I had it. I'm going to put it right here in the corner. And I'll pick this up. And get my stamp that I've cleaned off. And I'm going to ink that now with the Bermuda Bay. But I'm going to off stamp it first because Bermuda Bay was just too dark and bright. I tried Pool Party, which is like a lighter color, and that was just a little too light. So I think this was my best bet. I've got that, and I'll stamp it off over here and line that up in the corner and press down. And somehow I got way off on here. Ooh, I don't like that. Can you see that at all? See, that's too far off. I'm going to start over again. I believe I have a piece of vellum here. I'm going to wipe this off because I think that might be what my problem is. I'm going to wipe that off. I'm going to stamp that again. Because remember I said it smudged, and that could be enough to have thrown me way off like that. So ink that up with the Memento black. And I'm going to just stamp it here. This just isn't working today. Maybe because it's cold. Okay, I think that was good. Alright, that's good. And decide where I want that on here, and that looks pretty good. Right there, so put my positioner in place. Take this away. Of course, if anything's going to go wrong, it's going to go wrong while I'm videoing. Sometimes I purposely make mistakes, but this isn't one of those times. So there we go. I stamp my black. And to speed this up a little bit, let me wipe that off. I don't want black mixed in with my Bermuda Bay. To speed this up, I'm going to hit it with my heat gun. My dog is in here assisting me today, and I almost fell over just now. There we go. Okay, that should be dry enough. Well, hopefully I won't smudge it, because I don't have any more little bits of vellum sitting around. Okay. I need a little bit of tape, I think. You know what? I'm going to use my snail. Just put a little snail. Oh, no, you know what? That's a bad idea because it sticks on the vellum. Oh well, this is fine. Now we'll line this up again. We're going to offset it. just a little bit. Bring my L piece in here. Pick that up. Ink the stamp with the Bermuda Bay again. And off stamp that once. And back to the paper. And please let this work this time. Okay, there we go. That was good. Well, let me see if I can't get this to show up. I have a little piece of scrap here. Can you? I think you might be able to see the shadowing now. There's that faint shadow of the Bermuda Bay, but it was. Even if you can't see it in the video, in person, it's well worth the trouble to do it. So then we're going to turn this over, and behind our lettering, because vellum you can see through the vellum, you can't just stick it down with snail or glue dots because it will show through. So what I'm doing is I'm just putting little dots behind where my letters are. Any place it's thick enough to get a little dot of Tombow glue. And we're gonna use my Tombow trick. If you've seen some of my other videos, you know I like to do that when I'm working with very detailed pieces that I'm gluing down. I'm going to just let this set aside for just a few minutes, and the Tombow will dry. And just because it's dry doesn't mean it's not going to work, because the Tombow is pretty sticky stuff. It's going to be sticky like a glue dot, and that will hold my vellum in place without being able to see how it's held down. It'd be like a magic trick. Okay, so that's enough, I think. So I'm going to set that aside. And I notice I've got where I was pressing down on it. See, it is not dry yet. When you're making your card, you might want to just let it set and go have a coffee break or something. And let that dry really well. Okay, so while we're waiting for the Tombow to dry, let's bring in all the rest of our stuff and close up our ink pads. So I have my piece of designer paper. And I can snail that. And attach that to the front of my card. And that will cover the entire card front. Alright, and then on the inside, we'll use our Tombow glue on our little, well, let me see where I want to put this. In the same corner. Maybe I'll put this one, I think I like this one in this corner. I think I'll put it over here. You might have noticed I didn't put a sentiment inside yet because, well, I don't know what I'm thanking these people for. So when I figure that out, then I'll put something on the inside. Okay, so there we go. We've got the inside. We've got this one. And let's see, our Tombow glue is not quite dry, but I think it's good enough. So we'll center this on the front, and that will leave about 1/4 of an inch all around the card. And I'm kind of afraid to press that down. Let me take a piece of scrap paper. I'll take a piece of scrap paper and put over it and just carefully press that down. Okay, see, it's still a little wet. So that was good. I didn't put my hands all over it. And now we can put our sequins on. See, I didn't snip them apart yet. The little sequins are all connected. So that's wonderful if you're going to put them in a straight line. You get my pokey tool out. This is optional, but it's so handy for putting these little things on. Get a hold of that, and I'm going to put one in each of these big loops. There's one there. One there. One there. And then because it looks nicer with an odd number, I'm going to put 3 more. I'll put one, let's see, over here. One down here. And one over here. Alright, so that makes our card is done. But I wanted to show you one more thing with this stamp positioner. This is like another magic trick. I'm going to pull in, I've got this little flower stamp here from, this is another one of the celebrations, Avant Garden. It's another stamp set that Stampin' Up's giving away. And, oh, I need a little bitty piece of paper. Here we go. Got a little piece of paper. And I'm going to ink this up, and I'm going to stamp on here. And this is, oh, what color is this? Daffodil Delight. So I'm going to stamp it on there. I'm also going to stamp it once on here. Alright. Now, to line it up, I'm going to put this piece over top. Get lined up perfectly. I'll bring in my L piece, shape piece here. I'm going to take this away. I'm going to take this, the same stamp. Now I'm going to ink it up. This time, I'm going to ink it with Flirty Flamingo. But I'm going to take a paper towel and I'm going to clean off the whole center of this flower, just leaving ink on the outside edges. Do you see where this is going? This is going to be cool. Watch this. Oh, you know what? I messed that up too. Let's start over again. I keep forgetting to do this at the beginning. Okay, that's good enough. We'll ink that up. Oh, no. Clean that off. Ink it up with our Daffodil Delight. I hope that's good and clean. Okay, so I'll make my flower over here more. Alright, we have to use this. Stamp our flower. Clean the Daffodil Delight off. Ink it with the Flirty Flamingo. Clean the center. Yeah, I just don't know where my brain is today. And we're going to line that up with our original stamp. Put this in place. Pull that away and stamp. And look. Isn't that cool? Well worth the trouble. Now there's the original and just the Daffodil. Daffodil Delight, and then here it is, Daffodil Delight with the Flirty Flamingo over top. So that's what you can do with these stamp positioners. Just one of the things. So if you've liked my video today, be sure to hit the like button down below. If you think I'm crazy, well, you're probably right. But if you'd like to subscribe to my videos, then hit the subscribe button. If you want to shop with me, you can do that through my website or my Facebook page. And y'all take care, stay safe, and happy stamping.